I'm sure somebody got fired. I'm sure somebody got, I mean, that might be some of the biggest screw ups in the history of music.
Melody you have referred to as one of your greatest strengths, I think. What is it about that?
Honestly, it's really just about me having done it way more than other people and me giving way more options than the normal person would. So, for instance, when I'm writing a song, I'll freestyle a verse around 12 to 15 times. Same thing for a pre-hook, 12 to 15 times. Same thing for a hook, 12 to 15 times. The average person is gonna write one verse. I'm essentially writing 15 verses. And not only am I doing that, but I'm also writing 3 songs. So that's really 45 verses that I wrote in a day and you wrote one. So it's kind of hard to compete. It's when you reach to a certain point of songwriting, it becomes a numbers game, right? And I write so many songs that the standout songs eventually come, you know, they just happen because you've written so many.
Do you know when the standout songs come, or do you sometimes you have no idea what's gonna hit?
I mean, you take a strong guess, you know? I like to do little testings, right? And the best thing that you could possibly do is play people several songs, because nobody's gonna tell you your shit sucks, even if it sucks. So what I learned to do was to give people options. But if I play you 3 songs, you can easily be honest about which one you like the best. You know what I'm saying? So that's the model that I've always kind of taken when it comes to choosing songs.
And I understand when you were writing for other people, you would try to cater to that person so the person shines as who they are. What does that mean, and can you give examples of it?
Writing songs for other people is basically speaking in another person's voice. But it doesn't always happen like that. So a song called Me Too for Meghan Trainor, in writing that song with some great friends of mine, I was really thinking about myself, you know? I was like talking about standing on couches and like being really cocky and like loving myself. But when I listened to it back, I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if people really want to hear me bragging about myself. Like, it seems kind of off. But coming from a female perspective, it was magical. It feels like woman empowerment. It feels like, you know, it has like a totally different feel. And for Meghan Trainor, that song became a #1 hit, you know, a song called Me Too.
And will it quickly hit you in those moments?
No, I mean, we had that song for months before Meghan just heard it by chance one day. And she was like, I love this shit. Like, I didn't go away and was like, this will be better for a girl. No, I didn't even think of it. It was not until they called me and like, Meghan Trainor, and I was like, really? That doesn't make any sense. But then I heard her on it and I was like, duh. Like, obviously, like, it makes so much more sense.
And so you were a ghostwriter, I think, for 3 years before you became an artist. Mm-hmm. What did that entail?
Man, that's just, it started pretty crazy.
Kind of by accident, right?
By accident. I got my first placement with Birdman for a song called Bossy, and then that led me to doing some writing for Lil Wayne, which was cool. And then,
which is insane to have that immediately.
Yeah, I think I was 16 years old. I was really young. But they always work in Miami, so you know you had it was only slim pickings when you're talking about working with big people in Miami. I mean, you had Timbaland that always worked in Miami. You had Cash Money that always worked in Miami. P. Diddy in Miami. And that was pretty much it. Oh, and Pitbull and Flo Rida. That was the whole sector of Miami. So you had to find a way to make it to one of those guys. And through some friends, I was able to get a session with Cassie with a producer named Seven Aurelius. And that was one of my first, like, proper sessions with a producer that was of note. He had produced massive hits for Ashanti, Derulo. So, like, this was my moment. So I walk into this room and he says, I hear you're a songwriter. I'm like, yeah, nice to meet you, man. I'm Jason. And he was like, you got 5 minutes. Show me what you got. And then, like, I quickly wrote a song that I thought would be cool for Cassie. And 5 minutes was up. He was like, yo. So I walked back in and he's like, all right, what you got? So I started singing this song. It was called My House. He was like, I like this. All right. Go in the booth. And then from there, he just started to put me in different sessions. And then, like, I quickly grew in wherever his world was, you know, when that was like all the making the band stuff. And that was the beginning.
So, you know, you were ghostwriting during this period while dreaming of becoming rightfully an artist. In what ways were folks, though, kind of dismissive of you back then?
I mean, they wouldn't say to my face, really. But, like, nobody really wants to work with a nobody. I didn't necessarily have any motion going on. But I don't know. Like, I don't know why they didn't give me a shot. It's not every day that, you know, a dark-skinned kid from Miami makes it as a singer. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I was rapping, you know? It's not like I was doing hip-hop. I was a singer. If you look at the biggest singers that ever were, I mean, it's not very many dark-skinned guys that were the biggest in the world, you know? It's just not the same, you don't just get the same opportunities.
What do you think Sean Kingston and his label were thinking when they turned down What You Say in Replay and then
like
the
later
songs become massive hits?
I'm sure somebody got fired. I'm sure somebody got, I mean, that might be some of the biggest screw-ups in the history of music. Those are 2 #1 hits back to back. I don't think Replay was massive because of Ayez, and I don't think What You Say was massive because of me. I genuinely think both of those songs are amazing songs. I have other songs that I don't think that other people can sing, but What You Say could have easily been a smash hit for Sean Kingston.
Do you remember how you found out they weren't interested?
I was used to people not being interested in the shit that I wrote.
Meaning because rejection
like
is just a part of it and you have to have
rejection is every day,
Yeah.
You know? You don't even have to tell me, like, just don't tell me that it got placed. So, like, and I'll just go about my day, you know? And just tell me about when something good happens.
When What You Say takes off, you're thinking what at the time?
So many things. I was thinking that I was grateful, yes, but less of being excited and more about being nervous about not being a one-hit wonder. Like, instead of like enjoying the #1 hit, I was just in the studio like, I need another one, you know? So like I just really just put my head down and was just in the trenches. I was just like making song after song after song after song.
And what's your reflection on that now, looking back?
There was no other way.
So you don't think you should have stopped and smelled the roses more?
No. I think that's a trap.
Why?
Because complacency is so easy. It's so easy to be comfortable with success. And that's a really, really big trap. I think 99% of musicians get stuck with is being complacent and happy with where they are. And that complacency is what gets them the boot out of the industry. You're only as good as your last offering. And people are always waiting on the next song.